Welcome to the Customs 101 webinar. This webinar is special in such a way that we are doing it in a 3-part series. So that means we shall have content for you today, tomorrow, and Friday. My name is Jacqueline Emodek from the Customs Department, and I am joined by a team from the Ministry of Works and Transport. I have Anthony Mwonge, I have Emmanuel Bataningaya, and I have Emmanuel Uponja from the Customs Department at Uganda Revenue Authority. The team with me here today is going to help us dissect and understand the implementation of the digital number plates that were recently rolled out by the Ministry of Works and Transport. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we shall dig right into it. What are the digital number plates?
Okay, thank you so much, Jacqueline, and our viewers. I'll start from how the concept of digital plates came up. In 2017, following a spate of a number of murders involving vehicles, motorcycles to be particular, the president guided that it's time for us to be able to identify vehicles more clearly, and for us to do this, it required that we needed to be able to track these vehicles, and the solution was sought to introduce these digital plates. These digital plates, it's a solution. It's not just the plate. It comprises of the plate. It has a tracker, there are beacons that enable us to identify the motor vehicle, motorcycle, in real time where it is. But the main purpose of these plates is to ensure that we improve our security as a country. And this project is really passionate to the president and to the country at large. So basically, these plates are not just the ordinary plates, but a solution that is meant to improve security and also to clearly identify vehicles, and also to improve our register. Previously, we had challenges with the existing plates. I'll give an example that some series actually had been depleted. For example, police had challenges in registering their vehicles because the series that we are running then were almost being depleted, so we had to come up with a new series of plates. More still, you would also realize that in the older category of plates, for example, you had UG with a B stroking at the end. That would mean that every commission, Public Service Commission, Electoral Commission, AIDS Commission, all of them, you wouldn't know which vehicle belonged to which commission. So you'd only see a B and you wouldn't know which vehicle. Which agency owns this vehicle. So we thought and we planned that actually it's good for us to be able to clearly identify these vehicles better. And also, if you could look at the parastatal vehicles, for example, URA or UCCA, maybe Makerere University, would not know. If you saw a vehicle on the road, the only thing that would show you that this is a parastatal vehicle would be the blue color and the blue background and white characters. You would not know where does this vehicle belong unless it's inscripted on the vehicle itself. So with these new plates, we are able to know, and it helps us to narrow down when we are doing an investigation. For example, Ministry of Works has a new code, 038. So that means that for all entities that are under Ministry of Works, parastatals, you'll see a 38 there in their number, whatever number they will have. So you can easily know if a vehicle has been involved in any issue, you can know that actually this vehicle, in as much as it's a parastatal vehicle, it belongs to Ministry of Works. parastatals that are under finance, like URA, you will have the finance code. Those that are under education, they will be having the what?
The education
That
code.
code for education. More still, we also had challenges with duty-free vehicles. We could not clearly state which duty-free vehicles are given to returning residents, they're given to development agencies, employees of development agencies, embassies. So previously, it was hard for us to know if someone committed a crime. We wouldn't know exactly which agency they belong to. But with the new plates that we have, we are able to know that this duty-free plate belongs to this agency, and it narrows down, reduces the time of investigation, because you can easily tell where this plate belongs. And also, all of us can agree that the plates will also help us to clean the register in one way or another. When you're getting the new plate, there are some checks that we do, and that's the reason why my colleague will explain why Ministry of Works had to be added in the customs motor vehicle registration chain, because it's not about just paying the taxes, but it's also ensuring that we have a proper register of vehicles. The particulars that you have to fill in there should be correct particulars. We've seen cases where someone is declaring, I'll give an example, someone is declaring a trailer, but they have attached an engine number to the trailer. Then we are wondering, how does a trailer have an engine? They've even attached fuel type. The trailer has either petrol or diesel. Really, at times we have to come up and say, no, we have to clear our register. And we are moving towards the intelligent transport monitoring system, where we would want to see that whatever data that we've captured, when you put a command, it can clearly reach out to those intended people that would want it. For example, if you want commercial vehicles, and for you capture the trailer as a private, surely we won't be able to catch you. But if we see it now at registration, we'll tell you, please go and amend, so that we get the correct particulars. And we believe that with these new plates, so many things will change, so many details will be verified, and we believe that by the time we issue the plate, we'll have checked quite a number of issues, and we'll be able to get this plate.
Okay, thank you very much, Anthony, for that. You have hinted on why the change and the benefits, and in most of those benefits, you have highlighted the benefits to you as government.
Yes.
What are the benefits to me, Omuntu wa wansi? Why should I be excited about digital number plates?
Okay. You know, when it comes to security, all of us benefit. When an incident happens and the government can use its resources to clearly identify where the issue was, even you, Omuntu wa wansi, you will benefit. And that is what we would expect from the government, that when an incident happens, they can quickly and swiftly identify where the issue was and rectify the issue that has happened. More still, as the Omuntu wa wansi, previously we've been used to Kanamba, UBS, UBR, but right now where we are moving toward is we would want you to buy a car not just because of the number, but because of the condition of the vehicle. Don't just read the number only. Look at the vehicle itself. So these numbers are also trying to change that you know, it's not just about the number, it's about the condition of the vehicle. So Omuntu wa wansi, when you are buying this vehicle, please pay more attention. Don't just look at the number only, no? but also look at the condition of the vehicle, because we've seen there, of course, there are vehicles which have very new numbers, but actually the condition is not so good. Yes, my colleague wanted to add something about
Just something small to add. My name is Emmanuel. Thank you. Just something small to add. So, Anthony has just said that we will have a clean register.
Yes, yes.
What this means for Muntu also is that we'll be able to improve on our services. We'll be able to plan better for our roads, because we'll even know the concentration of where certain kinds of vehicles move, and we'll be able to plan for them. Of course, for security, he has already said, it will quicken investigations as long as they're also reported in time. There are so many actually positives for us, because with this same new registration plates, the digital registration plates, it will also give us the opportunity to implement the vehicle roadworthiness inspections, because that's now where the advantage comes in, to make sure that actually vehicles are in proper working conditions. Even when we are going to do this replacement, the plan is to make sure that the vehicle is actually fit for the road.
Okay, thank you so much, Emma, for that addition. Now, having talked about the digital number plates and the intended benefits, we would like to know what is changing and what is not changing. Kindly clarify for us. Anthony, I'll start with you on the side of Ministry of Works and Transport, and then Emmanuel from Customs will also explain on the customs bit.
Okay, thank you so much, Jackie. What is changing and what is not changing? What is changing is that, first of all, like I said before, Ministry of Works and Transport has been added to the Customs motor vehicle clearance chain. We, under this chain, the clearing agents know that previously there was URA and UNBS. And right now, Ministry of Works is also an MDA that has been added at admin selectivity. That means that we are interested in knowing what vehicle is being registered. After you've paid your taxes, Ministry of Works and Transport will come in to check, to confirm that actually the right particulars of this vehicle, as you declared them, is what we are registering. This has not been there. We are now added onto that clearance chain, and our role there is just to ensure that we have a clean and dependable database. Like I explained, he will explain what the customs officers do.
Yes.
But what we do as Ministry of Works, when we go to admin selectivity under Ministry of Works, our concentration is on the motor vehicle form and the verification account that has been uploaded by the customs officer. That is for the Director Enforce and those agencies which are not AEOs. Because for the AEOs, it's the agent who uploads the VA. Yeah, so now our concentration is on the VA, the form, the motor vehicle form, and what you've attached. We just want to be sure that we are in agreement. If it's a Benz, you've captured the correct model. We've seen cases where someone just captures Benz as the model. So really, Benz has quite a number of models.
Yes, yes.
It could have slipped through on the customs side, but when we see it, we tell you, please capture the correct. Because at the end of the day, when we are doing a query on the system and say, how many Benzes do we have? How many models do we have of this particular model? We should be able to pick out everything. But if we don't do that, that means we'll miss out on some of those things. Another thing that has changed, previously, you would pick your plate, you, the vehicle owner, go and fit it by yourself. That has changed. What happens right now is that the ministry contracted a service provider to issue these plates, and they have to ensure that they fit those plates. Like I said before, it's not just the plate, it's a holistic solution, which includes a tracker, beacons, and there's a frame that has to be fitted with that plate as well. So all that has to be done by the technicians of the motor vehicle, the number plate provider. It's no longer a scenario where you just go to the plate manufacturer, pick the plate, and go and fit it yourself. No, the plate manufacturer has to fit it. Also, when you, by now, those who have registered vehicles should have noticed that actually, previously, by the time, for example, if a vehicle is coming from Mombasa, by the time after you print release, you clearly know that I'm getting UBS 119R. Right now, you don't know which number you are getting. What you have is a partial registration. You'll get an MVR number. This is done to ensure that actually you can exit the ports or the CFSs that wherever the vehicle would be. But now the fitment for all those vehicles that are coming in from the ports will be done at the border points. So we have fitment points at Malaba. We have a fitment point at Mutukula. So if you're coming from Dar es Salaam, if you direct IM4, fitment has to happen at Mutukula if you're coming from Dar es Salaam. If you're coming from Mombasa, it will happen at Malaba. Unless you are going for warehousing, that's when you shall handle the fitment in the bond. So that has changed. Previously, you would pick your plates and go and fix them yourself. And of course, at this point, allow me to also note that, of course, there are challenges. You could be maybe coming to Malaba and you get an issue. Remember, we've partially released you. You have an MVR number. Please notify us. We'll always find a solution on how that vehicle can be registered. Probably you could, by the time you reach Malaba or Mutukula, the vehicle is no longer in a good condition that can be registered. So when such instances happen, please let the affected person notify us, and we see how we can have that sorted out. What else has changed is that the allocation of the plate is after we've fitted. That's when you know which plate you are getting now. And that after that, that's when you will also be able to get your logbook printed out because after we fit, that's when we close the logbook task and the client is able to print the logbook through their team. That is basically what we can look at the process flow. Yes. Most of the things have remained the same, apart from that aspect of the fitment that is done by the service provider, and also the fact that the printing happens after the number plate has been fitted. Yes, that's what I can say for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Anthony, for that elaborate explanation. And so I'll throw it to the taxman, Manuel. What is changing on customs side?
Thank you, Jackie. Good morning, our viewers and listeners. Emmanuel Oponja is my name. Supervisor Customs, Document Processing Center. What is changing under customs and what have not changed? What has changed is we have had the Ministry of Works and Transport being introduced on a SCODA system on the clearance chain, as Anton had mentioned earlier. In addition to UNBS, we had a UNBS before in the clearance chain of motor vehicles. So now we have Ministry of Works and administration selectivity. So after Document Processing Center has gone through the documentary check of the declarations, that is IM4 to be specific, and release, rerouting to green when all the requirement had been made. Ministry of Works comes in and the UNBS, meaning that the declarant cannot perform any other task of print release, which is the first step for registration of motor vehicle. So that means UNBS has cleared you and also Ministry of Works. So the two agencies are in the system. Initially we had only one, that's UNBS. Now we also have Ministry of Works.
Yes.
They do all the checks that are required, and that's after our customs release. Of course, they are the authority in registration of motor vehicles. What we need to have is the clean database, as I mentioned. You'll check the parameters of the chassis number, the engine number, and so on, or all other parameters that are required. So that is what has changed. The other element is the motor vehicle form, the MVR form. There are some changes that were made. The plate categories, these were renamed. We shall look at these in details tomorrow. They were renamed. If it's a private motorcycle, if it is motorcycle for the public, if it is a private car, if it is motor vehicles for NGOs under exemption and so on, those codes were changed. We shall look at these all in details tomorrow. That's what we have changed in ASPUDA system. The other one is at Mombasa. We used to, one will leave Mombasa when the vehicle was fully registered. Okay, that is in the old system. When the vehicle is fully registered, and you come and get your when you already have the logbook, you have the logbook already. You have the number plate. That's not the case now. So this time the motor vehicle will leave Mombasa, will be exited without getting the logbook, and all will be done on arrival at the entry border point. That's Malaba for vehicles coming from Mombasa, and at Mutukula for those coming from Tanzania. What has not changed? All other aspects. The taxes have remained the same. The rates have remained the same as per the current legal frameworks. Fees for registration and any other duties have not changed. And yes, the other one is what has also changed is
What has changed?
What has
not changed.
has changed
Okay.
is Ministry of Works their role in anti-tagging, and this is a common terminology that has been used, anti-tagging, and that is the clearing the motor vehicle from the system so that registration of printed lease can be performed by the agent. That's the anti-tagging after the satisfaction by the works. If the parameters are being fulfilled with the comparison after the verification account, the document presented, and are satisfied, that's when they clear, and that is on the side of Ministry of Works here. So those are the changes in custom system in ASPUDA world.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Emma. Anthony, are
Yes,
there
please.
things that are not changing?
Yes, what is not changing is that, of course, the logbook remains the same,
Okay.
the one that we are used to, until such a time when the ministry will change. We're still dealing with the same logbooks. Maybe what I had also left out is that for the fitment, it requires one book for the fitment. And I would want to use this opportunity to encourage, because we know this is a process. And if it's a process, you could try to utilize this process well. When you can actually make the payment for the plates even before you do the print release, and ensure, and you go ahead and book. For example, if the vehicle is in Mombasa, and you think that you will reach, maybe today is Wednesday, and maybe the vehicle would reach Malaba on a Thursday. Go ahead and book now, because we would want, previously when we had just started, we would just work on those ones who were there. But for us to be a little bit more transparent, it's better that we've introduced a booking system. Please book. In booking, it helps us to know when did you apply. There we've had cases where someone says, I paid earlier on, but someone who has just paid now has come and maybe looked over me. If we book and we have the confirmation on our side, it helps us to track and know why did someone confirm a booking and it was never worked on. So I will encourage the general public, especially the agents, to book. We've had a challenge. Yes, the system of the booking sends the notification to the registered owner, but we are working around we are working with the IT team to ensure that the agent is also notified once this link is sent, so that both people are able to track. The reason why we really want visibility on this, because we don't want someone to pay and not know where their application is. Right now, yes, there has been a bit of non-disclosure. Someone pays and they don't know whether the payment has been received. But I can promise here, and our teams are working to ensure that at least the traceability is seen and someone can know that I paid on this date. I've been scheduled to be fitted on Wednesday. And even after we've fitted, we should be able to send you a notification that your vehicle has been fitted with this number plate. That is where we are going. Yes, we've just rolled out this to the public. There are things that have to change.
Yes.
And we really, really appreciate all the feedback. From the other interaction that we had at Africana last time, we got a lot of good feedback. And our teams are really, really now down to work to ensure that all the issues that were raised, especially in regards to that process after print release, let it come out clearly and let everyone know what are their responsibilities, so that because someone will print release and wait. They have not paid for the plate, they have not booked. Then later on, after like a week, they'll say, but I print released and nothing is happening. Probably maybe they don't know what to do after. So I will encourage, after you print released, please make sure that you've paid for the plate. Payment for the plate is to the plate manufacturer, like it was before. You go to the plate here there is the plate manufacturer has provided a system where the agents can log in and get invoices and make payments. Please ensure that you've paid. After you've paid, follow up on the booking. Let the booking be done. Once the booking has been done, then if the booking is done and no one has come to fit your plate, please reach out to us. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Can I just add?
Emmanuel, do you want to add something?
It's just to that. We need to also ensure that our users of the same system or our service provider for payment portal, when they get the invoice to pay, they have to make sure that in the narration of their payment, the order number is captured. It is something that also in one or another facilitates the confirmation of that payment much quicker.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And now we shall move on to the next question. We have understood what the digital number plates are. What are the intended benefits of the rollout? What is changing? What is not changing? However, we'd also want to understand how this is being rolled out. Is it a phased approach? What does each phase entail? So, Emmanuel, kindly help us break down those different phases so that we and the general public can know what to expect at the different time frames. Over to you.
Yes, thank you. So, at the beginning, we had actually shared how it started, how this implementation began. We began with the government registration plates, issuance of government registration plates. for both registration first time for government and post, where they are doing the plate exchange for government vehicles. This was done under the CME, the Chief Mechanical Engineer, and it began on 1st November 2023. We then began issuance for motorcycles. We've been doing this in a phased manner.
Yes.
I think most members know. We began with motorcycles last year, 1st November 2024. And this has been moving on well, of course. And then scheduled and successfully commenced for first time registration also for motor vehicles, 6th January last month. So then that leaves us with the last phase, which is scheduled to be by end of this month. There are some system updates and enhancements which are being made. This will be implementation for post-registration, already existing fleet. The moment when all the checks have been made and the systems are ready to implement this, the date will be officially communicated, where people will be able to now be able to replace their plates for those who already have existing. We are trying to expedite it as much as possible because we know there are members who are facing challenges of using their vehicles. Find maybe those who lost their plates. Now they can't get the former regime plates because the former service providers were stopped from the service upon introduction of this new service provider. If there's anything else, I think that's it.
I could add.
It's been 4 phases.
I could add. I would also I want to inform the general public and all our viewers that actually this implementation, in accordance with the regulations, the exchange of the plates is meant to last for 2 years. So there is no need for us to rush. You know, I have my UBP, I have my UBR, I need to change it now.
Yeah.
There is no need for us to rush now. Actually, our plan is to in the rollout is to do it sequentially. We will advertise. We'll say, for example, UAA up to maybe UAL. Those people in those category, please, those who would wish voluntary compliance to come for a given period of time. Then after that is done, then we go to another series so that we allow. We wouldn't want everyone to come at the same time because we have a window of 2 years.
Yes.
So we prefer that let the public wait for this communication. It will be publicized, and what will happen is that when that rollout is communicated, people who are in Kabale wouldn't have to come to Kampala. That will be done in Kabale, in Barara, in Lira, in Gulu, in Poto, in Hoima. We all of us know that actually UNRA had over 23 offices, and now UNRA has come back to Ministry of Works. So we intend to use those offices, part of them, to also help us in rolling out this exercise. So those people who are in those different areas, they don't have to really come to Kampala to have their plates changed. However, like we have said, the exchange will be a little bit more scheduled than just everyone coming. But for those, like I said, those who could have lost their plates, and that is those ones have to be handled expeditiously. The teams are working to ensure that whatever system issues that are available right now are sorted out, and we are able to issue these plates out to the general public. For those who lost plates, those who would want to get duplicate plates, free registrations, and whatever post-registration service that leads into a plate validations. So we are going to ensure that we expedite the conclusion of that system updates that is being done to ensure that the public gets these plates. Really want to apologize for it. I think it has taken a bit of time, but it wasn't intentional. I usually tell my friends that usually when you shift to a new house, at times you pack things and put them in different boxes or containers. At times you might look for one thing and you might not easily find it until you rearrange them, and this at times might take a bit of time, but it is not that I can assure you that we're really up to the task, and we ensure that everyone gets a plate within the 2 years. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Anthony. Emma, you want to add something?
I wanted him to maybe to share some more clarification. So we have some cases of clients who had their declarations cleared by DPC, and they performed the task of print release, but they not complete the process of registration. We have those tasks hanging in the system. They did the print release, but they did not complete the task of registration. What's expected of those clients?
Okay, so the print release was done,
and the number plates were before the rollout. Yes, yeah.
The number plates were
issued. Yeah.
Were issued.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, what will happen to those? Because, like you stated, the previous service providers are no longer in place. We don't have any legal mandate with them right now. We had given a grace period of a month for those who had plates printed to be picked. What we can do now is to confirm whether those that you say were print released and the tasks were sent, were those plates printed and are resident with the previous service providers, and they have not only been picked. That is one thing that we have to establish. If they were released and they were not printed, then automatically it would mean that we will have to reroute them to the new system. But if they were printed, then we'll have to find modalities of how they can reach to the intended beneficiaries. This is not the first changeover that we've had. We had the changeover for First Technologies, where people had driving licenses, and they had been printed by our former service provider, First Technologies. So we picked those licenses, and we had to find ways of how we communicate to the public, and even gazette a place where they could pick them. So our task now, I think we have from here, let's try to see how many are these, and also establish where the plates actually printed. If the plates were not printed, then we'll have to find a system solution to route them to the new plate manufacturer, because right now the other people can't produce them. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for that elaborate explanation. So we'd now like to go to the questions from the viewers, where I would request you to clarify and answer and explain. So the first question comes from V Messenger. What happens to IM4 units that are selected green by Ministry of Works but do not have an MVR number?
Okay. Should we answer one by one?
Yes. Okay. No, you can first answer that.
Yes, we've noted, I think his message is meaning there are some entries that are not actually vehicles. Probably maybe they are trolleys that have that code 87 something. And some of them find their way at administrative activity to Ministry of Works. Those ones we untag them. If we confirm, when we confirm that actually this entry came to our site, has no MV form, and actually it is not a vehicle that requires registration, we have had an understanding with our colleagues from customs. We will untag them without any requirement from the client. All we require from the client is to notify us, because we see them, but at times we might not be able to to untag them, and at times they have delayed because we've not known what exactly this is. But when we get the notification that actually you have an entry of maybe trolleys, we've seen trolleys come to our side, we've seen wheelbarrows come to our side, and we've untagged them without any issue. But we are also working with the trade, the people who are responsible for those codes, to ensure that we harmonize this, because we wouldn't want them to be diverted to our side.
Yeah.
So actually, I think today meeting is going to happen at around 2 today in the afternoon to see how that can be harmonized so that those shouldn't come to our side. We expect to receive only vehicles where we have interest. Where we don't have interest, let the taxman handle.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So Emma, I'll throw this to you. This is from Thomas Ategeka. Team Ministry of Works and Transport. We have issues of tasks failure to close after the release of entries. And he gives an example of a Kemba entry here that has been stuck for a week now at the port, and there is no clear support team where such clients can be helped. Previously, it was the manufacturer of the number plate who would close that task to enable exiting. So who is currently helping in such issues? Manuel, would you like to answer that?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay,
I think actually my colleague Anthony had explained that when the vehicle has been released and we have already untagged, and the clearing agent submits or orders the print release, the system gives them an MVR reference. Okay, because what they're asking us to close is
Has not yet
the
happened.
plate fitment. Because after fitting the plates on the vehicle, that's when we confirm that it is registered and update the logbook. Okay, so before that point, which only happens, for example, a Kemba entry, which only happens in Malaba, they are supposed to actually process the exit using the MVR reference. That is how I understand it. So Ategeka should have the MVR reference as long as the unit has been cleared, released, they print release, and they receive an MVR reference confirming that this unit is partially registered and should be en route or should be allowed to exit so that it can complete its registration at Malaba.
I think it takes back to what you sorry for the interjection. I think it takes back to what you said, what has changed. Because clearly there is a gap there. After you've print released, when the unit is at Mombasa and you've received the notification for the MVR or the partial registration, please don't wait for the number plate, because you are not going to get the number plate. So if you wait at that point, you are going to get stuck there, but you'll be stuck there because you don't know what to do next.
Yes.
So after you get the MVR number, that reference number should allow you to exit the port and create the travel document for you to reach the border point. So if you get the MVR number and wait for the plate task to know that I've gotten this number, no, that one will happen at the border. Please don't stay at the port. Don't incur that cost at the port, because you'll be there. Nothing is going to happen there until you reach the border. Once you get the MVR reference, please process the exit documents and come to the border point to allow for fitment of plate. Yes, that's when the closing of the task will happen at the border, not at the port. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for that clarification. There's a concern here from Jimmy that the new digital number plates seem to be picked randomly,
Yes.
while with the old plates we were able to differentiate cars based on number plates because they followed some sort of order,
Yes.
and so on. How do we do the same for these digital plates?
Okay. That is Jimmy.
Yes.
Jimmy, thank you so much for that question. Like I said earlier on, Yes, the new numbers seem a bit random, but actually they are not random. They have an order that we follow on our side, but when on the public side, you might not be able to know the order. So, like I stated earlier on, what has changed is that right now the vehicle will only be identified by its condition, not by the number. The number will not mean that actually this is the most or recent the most or the newest vehicle that we have on the block. No. On our side, we know which series we've released for which period. On your side, it will be a number that you'll see. It won't be. It's no longer the UBS, UBR. After UBS, this is what's happening. No, that one has changed, and I will request Jimmy to embrace that, because I believe it's you are better off buying a vehicle that you are sure of its condition rather than just buying a number.
Okay. Nage, let's leave the number plates and let's focus on the condition of the vehicle. Okay. So there is a question from Camilla Ichoncho. She says we have a vehicle that was untagged by Ministry of Works and Transport, but no MVR reference was sent for 2 days now. Unfortunately, we cannot apply to ITMS for plates. So she requests to be advised on how she can proceed.
That one, I think that could be a system anomaly. And we would request that probably she shares with us more information. I would request on our inquiries email, but also I would, if it's possible, could get her contact before we leave here.
Yes.
And we request our customer care team to reach out to her and find out what could the problem be. Because someone failing to get an MBR, there could be a number of issues, probably on the system. Let's examine the entry and see at what point did it get blocked. Then we can be able to help her.
Okay.
But for anyone who has a similar case, please reach out to the inquiries email of. We will share the email before we leave this program.
Okay.
And you can also visit our office in case you are within. We will be able to, because some of the issues could be a technical issue, but ordinarily an MVR should be able to come through. If it doesn't come through, then it requires us to investigate more to find out what could be the issue. Yes.
All right.
Maybe
Yes.
just to add to the same, the print release process was not changed. So if it's not providing the MVR reference, that basically means that it's not crossing over to be registered. Okay? So most likely there's a system related issue, which we can address on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. All right. Anonymous attendee asks, when are you handling the bonded off vehicles?
Body door.
Yes, bonded off vehicles.
Okay, we have prepared to handle body off in detail on the 3rd day, and my colleague from customs and ourselves will be able to dissect
it.
and give more meat to eat on Friday.
Maybe the question, sorry to interject, the
Yes.
question, we don't know if the question is very clear. Did the person want to know when we are going to discuss about boarding off or registration of boarded off vehicles?
Yes, the question is actually for both. That's what I would
both.
like to believe.
For both.
However,
Yes.
what you have brought out is what can be answered.
Can be answered, yes, yeah.
The when
When?
will you handle the boarded off vehicles?
What I can say about bodied off vehicles, yes, we've noted concern. It's a cocktail. It's a cocktail of issues under bodied off. There are some which are going through the normal process,
Process, yeah.
but some are not. and our teams have been investigating. We've had several meetings with the customs people as well, and certain improvements have been made. I will need to understand what particular case that is not going through,
Not going
because
through.
what I'm aware of is that at least we've registered some body offs.
Yes.
Some they still have issues, but some are particular to certain cases that require more investigation, because I wouldn't want us to go into the Friday
Yes,
session,
yes.
but body off is a theme. I will tell you, it's a bit also sensitive, because there are quite a number of checks that are done, and I'll request, let's keep this question for Friday. I believe probably maybe by Friday, when we go into it in detail, an answer will be provided.
Maybe,
Okay.
sorry, before you come in, there are also cases where because some of the cases are not going through, our clients are also now misusing the codes. They are clearing them as newly imported vehicles, and they get challenged at registration. I think I've seen one case before. Let's not look for other option, plan B, when you know the right procedure is
Yeah.
this, and you are dodging because the right procedure is not working for you. You want to abuse it. You go around. Yes, yeah. I think we shall have a longer discussion on this on Friday.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Emma. We have feedback, and feedback is food for champions. And the anonymous attendee said, can you kindly demonstrate to the public how these number plates are traced in case of theft? Because we are told motorcycles have been stolen, and the response from your office is that they cannot be traced. That is feedback. Secondly, this is a question from the same person. What happens if the police plug off your number plate?
Okay.
Yes,
Let me start with the first part.
yes.
I believe that response was not from our office, because I've not seen any communication from our office that's saying that motorcycles cannot be found. However, what I can confirm is that when a vehicle has a digital plate, it can be traced. When a theft happens, it's also important that the reaction time is paramount in this case. If you report immediately, because remember, these are trackers, and the bad guys out there also know how to deal with some of those issues. But if the reporting is done immediately, the theft has happened, I am sure the traceability is there, and there's a trail. It can lead us to where this could have happened. The second issue was about
The
the
ones
police.
that are plucked off, yes.
The regulations that introduced these plates forbid plucking off number plates. And I would really request that our colleagues, police, desist from this, because first of all, these vehicles are traced.
Yes.
If someone has committed an offense, just take note of this number plate. It will be traced wherever it will be, and they can pick it. So it will be. It is not actually. It's an offense for anyone to remove the plate. No one should remove that plate unless with permission from the authorities that be. So I wouldn't expect someone lack of that plate. Be an issue of maybe sensitization, and we can take this from here.
Yes.
And try to ensure that we increase the sensitization to our colleagues in the forces, and also any other person that these plates are traceable you don't have
To pluck it off.
yeah, you really don't have to pluck it off.
Yeah.
It can be traced wherever it will be, and this person can be apprehended and answer for the offense they could have committed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Very few people knew that. Lawrence asks, when the entry is queried by Ministry of Works and Transport, kindly advise on how to answer the queries online. Emma.
How to answer the query on that.
Yes, how can they answer the queries online?
So most of the queries, I should say, but this is also hinting on the discussion that we had planned for tomorrow. Based on a request or a call for a reaction. So if it is that we have queried someone for certain particulars haven't been captured correctly, the motor vehicle registration form, we would expect that the client, the clearing agent, would follow up and have it corrected. Just giving a case example. Once it has been corrected, well, as Ministry of Works, should be able to tell that such an entry which we had queried yesterday has been corrected, and we go ahead to untag it. We currently, I can also say that the access that we have, the system that we're using, SCUDA, we are able to query. Okay, that is how the clearing agent can see that there's an issue. And currently, how the system is, it is one way. We query, they view the query, and they are expected to react to it. We have the other channels of communication, which are not directly on the SCUDA system, but this is through our email for inquiries, through our contact number that members can call. But also for all the queries that we have sent, we are actually reviewing them. It's just that I think one or another we could all agree that there's a lot of pressure when it comes to registration of vehicles. And I think this pressure is felt a lot by the agents,
Yes.
who also just transmit it and say, I have answered the query. Okay, you may have queried it 4, 5, 6 days ago.
Yes.
It has been answered last night at 9:30. And this person wakes up in the morning at 7 to check and see if it has been untagged. If they find it's not untagged, those are the numerous calls, those are the repeated emails, and then we have no problem with it. We will receive, and we also work on it. I know that we are still having further discussions to see how best to enhance the system to allow that send and receive
Yes. Yes.
on a SCUDA.
Yes.
But what I can say is we are reviewing all that is queried, and when it is answered, we rectify.
Okay. All right. So there we have it. We are reviewing, and we are reviewing based on the feedback. So we shall improve as time goes. We have David Maweje, and he asks, is there a way for the team to get our car users limited access for them to be able to track their cars? Because government is tracking their cars. So they're asking, can they also be able to track their own cars after they have installed a digital number plate?
Okay, I could answer that.
Yeah.
I didn't get the name.
David Maweje.
David. David, thank you so much for the question. For starters, the tracking, the digital plates are a part of a holistic solution called the Intelligent Transport Monitoring System.
Yes.
And this system is housed by the security agencies. So all the information that we get is under the auspice of security. So security is in charge of the information that is being obtained from the different vehicles that are being monitored. However, during the piloting stage, we noted that actually the tracker that is being installed has no issue if you install your own tracker as well, and be able to view your own. However, we've gotten those proposals and we presented them to the authorities. The vision didn't envisage a public access. However, with the feedback that we get,
Yes.
because these are systems, and systems they are living, they keep on evolving.
Yes.
I believe once we get this feedback and we present it to the authorities, probably right now it's not possible, but it is a possibility because it's a system. You can provide an access that only views, and actually you only provide it probably to the registered owner, not to everyone.
Yes. Yes.
But of course, there need to be guidelines and procedures of how this should be done. But the feedback is taken,
Yes.
and we will report back to the authorities. There is this suggestion. How can we put it or implement it, put it to use? It is a good thing. It is very good for someone to be able to view their vehicle as well
Yes.
and know that it is here. But also, right now, I can say it is not possible. It is a preserve of security. However, adjustments can be made with the suggestions. Yes.
All right, there you have it. We shall make adjustments as we move on. So keep sharing your feedback. I have another question from Anonymous Attendee, and he talks about the cost. Kindly clarify the cost of the number plates for motorcycles and the cost for motor vehicles.
My colleague Emma can
Yes,
handle
can
that
you?
authoritatively.
Okay, so the cost for first time registration, registering it for the first time in Uganda for motorcycles and motor vehicles is the same. 714,300 shillings. It is the same solution for registration of the new fleet, or should I say, of new motor vehicles and motorcycles. And the number plates have the same, they are connected to the same system, they run on the same processes, so there is no difference between the two. But when it comes to registered fleet, vehicles and motorcycles that were registered already and are now coming in for plate exchange, the post-registration which we are planning to commence. For motor vehicles, it will be at 150,000. For motorcycles, it will be 50,000 shillings.
Okay, and I'll ask a follow-up to that. Andrew Cohen asks, what is the timeline if I make a payment for the number plates to have fitted if I make a payment for the number plates to be fitted on my unit at the moment in the ITMS, how long does it take?
Okay, maybe if I would understand clearly, making payment alone is not an end in itself. You have to go ahead and make the booking for the fitment. If you make the payment and sit, wait without the booking, we might not know how long it will take. But if you've booked for a day then we can know that on that day you will be fitted. But if you just make the payment and don't book, then it is the process is not complete. It is halfway. For example, if I want to renew my driving license and I just make an assessment and I move on the road with assessment and I tell the officer, you know what, I paid for the renewal, but I've not gone there to renew. Yes, you have paid. Indeed, you've paid for the renewal, but you've not gone. There is another process that has to be done. So the payment alone is not an end in itself, but the booking is also paramount. So make the payment and do the booking. Then the day you've booked, we put the slot, yes, for the time, but we can extend it for the whole day. Because, for example, if you booked to be fitted at 10, and maybe at 10 your vehicle is not yet ready, you've not yet print released, we can't say we're not going to fit you because you've booked on that day. We will ensure that on that day we fit you. Yes, we fit that vehicle.
All right. Thank you for that. Kindly make sure you finish the whole process. Do not stop in the middle and expect the service to be rendered. Also, still in regards to booking, Lillian says, when we pay for number plates, Ministry of Works and Transport, MVR sends a link for booking, but sometimes they take long to send the booking link. And yet ITMS wants to install those with booking numbers. This should be revised, yeah? Then she suggests we should book for ourselves, then MVR confirms the booking with the booking number.
Okay. I think that's a suggestion that we can take note of and try to see. Like I said, this is, we rolled out this on the 6th of Jan. Today is just 1 month and 6 days into the implementation for private vehicles. And the feedback that we get here, it's not in vain. I can promise you, I didn't get the name. Lillian. When we take such feedback, we go back to the drawing table and see how to improve. And really, really thank you for such feedback. Anything that we can do to improve the processes for this system, really, really appreciate it. But we're also not waiting only for the feedback. Even us back end, we are really, really working around the clock to see that everything is improved, to ensure that every Ugandan is served for the service that they have paid.
Okay. So we go to those that have lost their number plates.
Okay.
There are some clients, Abigail asks, there are some clients who have lost their number plates and they want to replace them. What should they do? Because when they contacted ITMS, they replied that they are first working on new vehicles or motorcycles that are in the category of first-time registration.
I can answer that and then I can supplement. Yes, it is indeed true that, like we said in the initial stages of this conversation, that this implementation is phased. When 6th January 2025 came, the phase that was focused on was on the first-time registration. It is indeed true that actually ITMS could have stated that actually that's what working on. Why did we say that? Because the post-registration, which includes even the duplicates, had some systems changes that have to be done. And Emma stated earlier on that these systems changes that have to be done are in the final stages, and by the beginning of the month of March, we should be able to work on everyone who is in that category. We wouldn't want the person also to come and get frustrated because of the system. You know, the issue with the I believe most of us have interacted with this system. That actually, if a system is doesn't have that provision or it's off at that point, the workaround might not allow us to issue a plate because it's a system issue. We have to track that application from the system until when we fix the plate. There have been some hurdles. We've been testing and you see errors coming through. But those are being sorted. And we are in touch with our IT team to ensure that when we go out to the public to fix those duplicates like he has stated, it will be a smooth process. It should be smooth. We've had the challenges in the first time registration. We've taken the feedback. We hope that for the post registration, we want a smooth process. And where we are getting feedback and we can incorporate it in this new amendment that we are making, we are taking it up so that once we roll it out, it doesn't cause a lot of complications. But we understand, yes, there are some people who have not had plates and they are genuinely lost, and it is really a genuine issue. But it's not that we don't want to give them plates. We are working around the clock to ensure that once we roll out, everything is in order. Some of the issues that we look at when it comes to duplicate plate, like we said previously, you would come and pick your plate and go and fit it yourself. Currently, we have to fit the plate, and it applies even to post registration. So we wouldn't want to say that now we've only rolled out for Kampala. So recently Ministry of Works took over the former SDS stations, and would also want to use those spaces to do the post registration, which includes also duplicate. But these stations had been closed for a long time, and we had to do some modifications here and there to ensure that they should be able to be occupied for this purpose. And on top of that, like I said, we also will take on the UNRWA offices where they have had those stations and our other upcountry stations, so that we're able to serve all Ugandans equally. So that is what part of the delay, as well as the system part, which is also in the final stages of being concluded. Once we have that set, then we shall be able to serve everyone. In the meantime, we really apologize that it has taken some time, but we are cooking something. It's not that we don't know what's happening. We are aware of it, and would want us. We pray that you allow us prepare this so that when we roll it out, it serves you best. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. Emmanuel, there is a clarification here from Namata Chiza. The team said you're looking at the condition of the vehicles, not the number plates. So Namata would like to know, how are you able to put a difference between a vehicle in good condition and one in bad condition, as earlier discussed that plates are dependent on the condition of the vehicle?
I don't know whether I've understood the question so well, but what we stated was to the buyer. We stated that don't just buy a number. Before you buy a number, look at the condition.
Yes, I think that's what she's asking.
The buyer, before I buy the vehicle,
yes.
I shouldn't just buy that, this is a UBR, it must be a new vehicle. It might be UBR, but it's a body off. You get it? Even when it comes to the numbers, that's why we are saying a number in itself. What is a registration number? Registration number is just an identifier of the vehicle. You get it? It's just to identify that this vehicle has, on our side we shall know this vehicle has these particulars. The duty of the client is now to look, not to be hoodwinked by the car number, but to go an extra mile and see, is what am I buying? So I would say take a cent a look at what is there, and then before you put there your money.
All right. Winnie suggests feedback. Can Ministry of Works collaborate with URS touch point system to have issues resolved faster?
Okay.
Can we have an integration?
That is point taken.
Point taken. We are on Touchpoint. Just to clarify, we are on Touchpoint. But maybe yes, further engagement with URA needs to happen so that maybe when an issue is to do with the clearance of a vehicle, customs, because the customs tickets on Touchpoint are different. Those ones we don't access at the moment. But we actually, Touchpoint, we receive tickets on Touchpoint. And we have been addressing them. We have a team that works with them.
Okay, so there you have it. Ministry of Works and Transport is on Touchpoint, so kindly share your queries there. I'll take, our time is fast spent, so I'll just share our concern by Nambuya Juliet. She says we have over 30 number plates that haven't reflected, but were already configured and issued to respective cars. However, for 2 weeks now, they are not showing and logbooks cannot be accessible. What could be the issue and how can it be resolved?
Okay.
Should I answer?
Yes.
So, there was around the same time when those vehicles were being registered, there was actually a system glitch. That was later on rectified. And we are working closely with URA, as we are here, to also have those particular tasks in that period which were worked on to be closed. Yes. I don't know if there's something you'd like to add.
Maybe we could, that is true. There were some plates that got issued with registration books. And actually, some of them, when you try to enter the number, it brings an error that says it's invalid or something. But when you check the profile, you only see the partial registration,
MVR,
the MVRN number. And like Emma said, yes, there was a time when you had that glitch. But I would be interested in knowing
Which
was it some of those, because it could also be an issue that actually the tasks are not just closed. If the tasks are not closed, you should be able to have them closed so that they're able to pick the logbooks.
The majority of them were actually closed in time, but somehow the system did not update the logbooks, but that, as I've said, is being harmonized. It is being rectified. You are.
Okay, so be patient for now.
I would request
but
that
they can
we
still share them.
get the
The contact
yes, so that our customer
with
care
those
can reach
30
out to
units.
them.
And then,
All right,
See,
so Juliet, kindly share your contact. At this juncture, I would like to end this very engaging, so interesting webinar. We have received over 70 questions. And so while we have been able to answer some of them will be answered in the subsequent broadcasts, which will be happening tomorrow and Friday. In the meantime, we thank you very much for being a very engaging audience. Please continue sending those questions because they'll help us shape the conversations to be relative to you in the subsequent broadcasts. I would like to thank my panelists for a very interesting conversation. And would you have any parting words for today, Emma?
Okay. I would like to thank the viewers for their active participation, for the time that you've taken off to interest yourselves in the digital number plate regime. We are at the start. We have made a month for the private motor vehicles, and the future is brighter. Thank you very much.
Okay. Emmanuel from Customs.
Thank you. I appreciate the viewers, our clients, and for embracing the solution. One issue I would encourage them is to to ensure that they capture the correct parameters so that we avoid the queries, the amendments, the DPC, the back and forth. We have got so many cases of amendments because of some inaccurate information being captured. The model, the chassis number, the engine numbers, others. Let's get the right information declared so that we avoid those delays which are occasioned by those errors.
Okay, thank you, Emma. Anthony, parting remarks.
Thank you so much, moderator. I also want to thank our audience. Thank you so much for the questions, the feedback, the advice. Really we don't take you for granted. And we will request that whatever that we don't been able to answer today, probably in the subsequent engagements and even after, we should be able to follow up and ensure that everyone is served to their satisfaction. Remain, Anthony.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Tim. From us at the Uganda Revenue Authority, we thank you for your data. We thank you for your time. Till tomorrow, have a nice day.
URA sinaba kusasula msolo Janet lete basa je nakuwa bannange sinasasula URA aya esawa zigenda kugwayo asibye bino waliwo basa je nasemba yokuwa aya esawa zonna ebiza kubanga bye bino kangende bilanja bikeberere afande njagala kudduka genda kusasula msolo ngenda kusanga basibyewo
nyabo ekyo kibaje kifakusa tokimanyi nti URA yabigonza dda kati usokusasula kusimyo nyabo
nti afande
unyikamunize star 285 ash ngogobeje mitejeje ejo ngofuna ka message ate URA ile kuwaliza chapula teba kubanga URA
thank you so much afande
okalubirizibwa okusasula omusolo gwa bizinesi y'omubudde genda bugenze mu simu nyonyige kamunyenye 285 hash abaddukanya bizinesi entono eziyingiza wakati wa miliyoni 10 ne miliyoni 15 omwaka bakwanguyirwa okusasula omusolo gwabwe ogwa presumptive tax